A lot of people underestimate the power of being a people's person and just being nice and having relationships. So I'm very good in school. I was always the one that was chatty, like not listening. I'm doing shagara with my friends. But actually now as an adult, I know how to connect with people emotionally, right? So you will remember me. And actually, when I come and ask you something, you'll be like, I know the credibility, like she's a good person, let me see what I can do. So I think a lot of people underestimate the likability factor and how that can play a part.
Any tips on how to remain likable in a short meeting with someone?
Oh, be you. Yeah. I'll be honest, like, a lot of the times I will say, I'm the mouthy girl from Southeast London. People remember that. I've had people say, mouthy girl from Southeast London. Yeah. And actually, that's just who I am. I'm very proud to be from South. But yeah, I think trying to be rigid, trying to be professional, there are so many people that fit that same standard. Yeah. So actually, if you can bring your personality out a little bit and show a bit about you, it differentiates you from so many other people.
Guys, we're back in the building for Bread and Butter Podcast. You're here with myself, Tayo.
And myself, E, man.
We got a good friend in the building, man. And it's good. We're proud to be able to say that, man. We got Natalie in the building. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me, man.
Natalie, one question we always ask people when they jump on the podcast, because you're very, very well known, especially in our community, but some people might not know you. So we ask you to introduce yourself and let the people them know what your bread and butter is.
I love that question. I would say entrepreneurial spirited, creating equity in our communities. Like for me, if I can bring our people into the spaces where we're not in, I've done my job. So I would say entrepreneur. But
you've already started with the big words. Can you
break it down?
Break it down.
And you didn't even say your name as well.
I didn't. Natalie Ojevah MBE.
Come on. I'm glad she's going to try and be humble. I thought you were going to try and be humble. No. You've earned that.
I worked fully.
You've earned it. So break down what having an entrepreneurial spirit is and what does that look like?
Okay.
And how you do it or did it or have done it in practice?
No, I love that question. So an entrepreneur is essentially someone that works for an established organisation that has an entrepreneurial spirit, right? So that I want to think about your innovators, people that set up new projects, set up new ideas in really rigid, quite traditional systems.
Yeah. Which many of the systems in the UK are like that anyway.
Especially in finance.
Most of them, right? So most of the bankings have been around for over hundreds and hundreds of years. So we're talking about legacy businesses. So in how do I do that in my role? So I work for a bank. I work for Barclays for the last 13 years this year, which I say I came out of my mum's womb and I basically just rolled into the bank. But how that looks for me is I essentially set up the bank's first Black Founder Accelerator. So it's a program dedicated to Black entrepreneurs to essentially level that playing field, right? So we all know back then we didn't have the data, but access to network, access to funding, and access to mentors and resources are kind of the biggest barriers for our community. So for me, when I was in business banking, and I'm sure we'll go into my story, I wondered how I could change that, right? So I'm working in a massive organisation. At this time, I had the voice of senior leadership, but we wasn't doing anything. So I set up our first kind of Black History Month events, did it in a safe space, right? Black History Month, we can get down with this. It's a short space where we can trial it. So we did our first set of Black History Month events where we brought the Black community into Barclays to find out exactly what the pain points were, how they wanted to see Barclays show up in their space. And then me being the mouthy girl from Southeast London, I ran with it. So I used that data, that information to then turn that to my leaders to say, this is a proposition that I think we should trial out. This is what I've learned through my case studies, my research through those Black History Month events. Look at how successful that Black History Month event is, well, because the one of the things I always say when it comes to building things in a corporate, you need to show the success of it, right? And if you start small and you smash that, you can build bigger and bigger. So for me, it was be able to say, these are the plethora of events that I've done. Now look what we can do if we partner with the program, an external supplier, and build on that. So
This is insane.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm thinking that our audience is going to get so much value from this because a huge part of our audience would have taken part in some kind of Black History Month, maybe organising it, maybe leading it, and they will probably at this point could only dream of doing what you did. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So I know you mentioned it, but in practice, what did it look like? So you did your first Black History Month. You gathered the data, and that's the key thing, right? You didn't just do a good event and everyone said it was good. You made sure that there was takeaway and data. When you said you took it to the leaders, who did you take that to in practice? And did you get no's as well?
Yeah.
Did you get blanked as well? Let's hear about that.
100%. So my biggest thing is taking people on the journey with you from day one, right? Because you get buy-in, they believe you, they see the history of it. So I emailed our CEO at the time to say, look, I'm hosting this Black History Month event. Come down, just sit. You don't have to speak. You don't have to sit on the panel. I just want you to hear some of the perspectives of the community that we're trying to serve, right?
Sorry, hold that thought. Sorry, was it the first one that you invited him down to?
Yeah.
That's good though, right? You believed in it, innit? Do you know what I mean?
Well, do you know what? If you can't back yourself, who can back you?
Exactly.
And I think that has probably been the ethos of my career is if I can't back myself, who is going to back me better than me?
Facts.
So I emailed him and he was like, I think as well, people don't realize that most CEOs don't get these types of emails.
Yeah.
You know, they get emails about, this urgent, we need you to look at this. So when they're seeing something that's community-based, that's not going to be regulatory heavy, process heavy.
It's like they let their hair down.
That's something different. Do you get where I'm coming from? I invited him to come down. He came to our first one in Notting Hill Gate. He sat in the audience. He was the only white person in the room. There was probably 2 or 3, but he was definitely the most senior white person in the room. And, you know, he came up to me offline and he was like, do you know what? I have never in my career been in a situation where I've sat and I've noticed that I'm the only person from my background in this room. And now it's made me think how others feel. And this is what the power of it, because I can say all of the words in the world, right? But people feel emotion, they feel it when they're in the room. So if I can bring you into the room to experience what we experience, because I've been experiencing this for the last
13 years.
Do you get where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
So now it makes you switch on a different perspective. It makes you switch on a different theory that you didn't even think of. So emailed him, he came down, he saw it, he felt the buzz, because you know us. When we're all in a room, there is energy in a room, right?
Yeah.
Like there's nothing that can replace it. And I emailed him straight after. I said, look, this is how much attendance we got. We were sold out in tickets after this amount of weeks. This is the NPS. So for those that don't know what NPS is, a lot of corporates will use Net Promoter Score to basically get customer satisfaction. So this is what our customer satisfaction was for the events, which was like plus 80 something. And in banking, to get a plus 80 is wild. And look, this is what I think we can do to follow up on that. Now, this was in 2019, right? Then COVID happened. So you got to bear in mind, at the time I was working in a co-working site. So my job was all about being in a working space, right? So I had my paying clients that would come in, they would use the co-working site and we would do loads of business development in that space. Yeah. So when COVID closed down, our business model had to reshift, right? So we was all sitting there like, I have to go to an office 5 days a week and now it's all locked off. And then George Floyd happened. And I think I always go back to this because I think George Floyd was ridiculously pivotal because that was the one time that all of the world was locked at home, didn't have any other distractions, so you couldn't hide from it. And social media is so powerful now, right? Like something can happen and most of the world can see it within 24 hours. Yeah. So everyone witnessed George Floyd. And for me, there was a question of, I've done this Black History Month stuff. I've already got a proposition that I know is ready to go. I've listed partners I know that are in this industry that are doing stuff in this space. There is no reason why we shouldn't be showing up now to do something. So I followed up with my CEO. Literally the day after that George Floyd happened, there was a bunch, and I love my Barclays colleagues because one thing about us, we don't stay silent. I can't lie to you. So there was a bunch of us at the time, but I had emailed my direct CEO and I had said, look, you come to our Black History Month events. You've seen the pack. Obviously, COVID happens. Everything shut down. but this needs to happen now. And his response was, what can I do to make this happen? What support can I give you to make this happen?
Crazy.
And he linked me, and look, I was not from this world, right? So I've never negotiated a contract. I've never drafted a contract, draft terms. I've never, like, all of those bits were completely new to me. So for me, it was about finding the experts that could teach me about that, right?
Yes.
So there's a bunch of people in that first year that didn't have anything to do with Black Founders Accelerator, didn't have anything to do with diversity, but they were experts in their fields at creating propositions.
Yeah.
So I would reach out to them. I'm doing this. I would really love your advice. This is my pitch deck that I have to go and give to senior leaders to get it signed off. What's your thoughts? Give me feedback. And they'll be like, that's rubbish. Take that out. Strip this off. Right, I'm on the right tracks. Go to a next person. So, 5-6 years later, became the D&I lead. We have launched a bunch of programs in Eager Labs to support diverse communities, Black founders, female founders, Asian founders, vets. And then as of recent, I've moved into a government-backed task force that is all focused on investing for women. So we're
going to break those down a bit more. I've got so many questions. I've got questions for Iman. I've got questions for the audience. I'm just going to ask the most recent question that came into my mind. Iman and I both worked in banking.
Yeah.
A lot of our audience might have worked in a corporate space, right? And we know how these things are. Like, in a corporate space, it can be rigid. When you've got an email chain with the CEO of Barclays, do people fall down? What I mean by that is that now you're asking questions. Can you help me with this?
Yeah.
And you show that you're in
100%.
contact. What was that
100%.
like? Like, is it all of a sudden that everybody's willing to help?
Do you know what? I think it puts a bit more back into your project, innit?
Well, definitely. Of course it does.
Once you have, like, this CEO is your sponsor. And this is the biggest thing I say to people. When you're starting off with any new projects, get your senior leaders that are going to sponsor your project, right?
Absolutely.
Because they'll be in the rooms that you're not in. They'll be championing it for you. So going back to my first point of bringing people on the journey from day one, because I brought that CEO on the journey from day one, he knew what the journey was. He knew it started from Black History Month events. It scaled. George Floyd happened. But yeah, having that CEO definitely helps with the back end. I think as well, a lot of people underestimate the power of being a people's person and just being nice and having relationships. So I'm very good in school. I was always the one that was chatty, like not listening. I'm doing shagara with my friends. But actually now as an adult, I know how to connect with people emotionally, right? So you will remember me. And actually, when I come and ask you something, you'll be like, I know the credibility. Like, she's a good person. Let me see what I can do. So I think a lot of people underestimate the likability factor and how that can play a part.
Any tips on how to remain likable in a short meeting with someone?
Oh, be you.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, like, a lot of the times I will say I'm the mouthy girl from Southeast London. People remember that. I've had people say, mouthy girl from Southeast London. Yeah. And actually, that's just who I am. I'm very proud to be from South. But yeah, I think trying to be rigid, trying to be professional, there are so many people that fit that same standard.
Yeah.
So actually, if you can bring your personality out a little bit and show a bit about you, it differentiates you from so many other people.
Yeah. I got a tip for people listening as well. If you're speaking to someone and they say they got a pet, a dog, ask to see the picture.
You know some people don't like dogs though.
No, but I'm saying if they've got a dog.
True.
You know what I'm trying to say? Let me see a picture.
Yeah, no, it's true. Because people that have dogs, they love their dogs.
It works a treat.
No,
what? If someone's got a dog? Bro, ask to see the picture, bro. You might not. Do you know what I mean?
They'll be like, let me just...
Bro, they'll back it out. It's going to be the wallpaper, bro.
It will be the
ahead of their children.
Crazy. Listen, the reason I'm quiet is just like Natalie's amazing. Like, she's absolutely fantastic. And I think sometimes when we've got certain guests on, I just want to let them speak, because when Natalie talks, there's just so much knowledge and wisdom that comes from it. I think you are so fantastic in all that you've done, and I feel like to you it seems like it's very normal. You walk around like it's very normal. You're very humble, but it's actually fantastic, because I worked at Barclays. I know Barclays inside out. Barclays is in my blood. It's my culture. It's everything I've learned. And Barclays is a traditional bank.
It is.
It's a traditional bank to the core. As in, when we talk about, all the changes that's happened over time and so forth, there are certain core principles that a bank like Barclays, you can't change. It doesn't know how to. It's not function. Even the computer system itself,
doesn't have
it's
the
not designed
functionality.
to work in that. Do you know what I mean? There are just certain things that is just to the core of the bank, and it's been successful in that way. So it's very difficult to tell a company, a business that's make billions across the world to change.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? To be different. And so one of the things I love about what you said, and I think people will miss it, is that you were acting before the opportunity came.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You did the Black History event.
Yeah.
If you never done the Black History event, and then George Floyd happened, and you called the CEO and said, George Floyd happened, let's do something, it wouldn't be the same. Because you wouldn't have the credibility of you was doing it anyway.
Yeah.
And I think it's so important for people to remember to do the work.
Yes.
Sometimes we're looking for, I need, like you said, bring people along the journey. But then sometimes the journey starts very humble. You want to bring people along once you're successful and everything's the way, and let them ride the wave. And like, actually, no. I'm in the very infancy. This is the very early stages. I want to see what we're doing. There might not even be anything coming from it, but I just want you to know that this is happening.
Yeah.
And because he knew this was happening, and he came to it and saw the reaction, and like you said, being in an environment where he now thought, wow, I'm a minority. I've never been a minority.
Exactly.
Maybe what you're saying is that I've never been a minority my whole life, but in this room is the first time. And actually, if he was true to himself, he said, I actually feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I actually feel uncomfortable.
100%.
Like, I don't feel. And then he thought to himself, how many other times? This is
felt
on his
this?
own.
Yeah.
This is not, you didn't have to come and talk to him.
Yeah.
This is on his own, just by getting him into the room. This is on his own. He had this conversation in his head
internally.
with himself. And that caused change.
Yeah.
Because of that conversation, he could never have that conversation if you never invited him to the event. Do you know what I mean? And because he had that conversation, once George Floyd happened and now we're emotional, now he's like, I've had that conversation, I've experienced it, I'm now emotionally charged to make a difference. How can I help? But my thing is, what is the accelerator? And can you tell people some of the things that you have done? Because of your accelerator, there's accelerators everywhere now.
Yeah.
Like, accelerator is a normal word.
Yeah.
We wasn't using accelerator before, but now there's accelerators everywhere. Can you talk about what is an accelerator? How does it come? How do you get the funding? Where does that money come from? And how can people get access to it if they have a business idea?
I love this question. So, Accelerator, do you know what? There was a founder that was on the program that gave it the most beautiful title. It's almost like a mini MBA, right? So, for an entrepreneur, a lot of entrepreneurs go into this space and they have their business idea, but they don't know the fundamentals of how to do your finances, and I'm not even talking raising capital, because a lot of people want to talk raise capital, but actually that's not the start of your business, right? Marketing, legals, contracts, things like that. So an accelerator is essentially a business development program. So it allows you to develop your business skills. Most accelerators lean between kind of 3 months. You can get actually accelerators for 12 months, depending on the scale of the business. But they'll select amount of businesses to join that accelerator. So the Barclays Black Founders Accelerator is all around developing your business proposition. So like I said, we go from masterclasses on marketing. We have a Barclays procurement session on how to do business with companies like Barclays, what you have to have in place. Because again, all of this, unless you know it, you don't know the complexities of trying to work with a corporate, right? So we try to provide that information as much as possible. And then it culminates in a demo day showcase. So this is usually where a select amount of businesses will get to pitch to investors, the wider ecosystem. So our Barclays Founders Accelerator is a 12-week program. Applications are open at the moment. We select 25 businesses. It's been an incredibly, when I actually did a co-pilot, ChatGPT, I said, who was the first Black-focused accelerator in the UK? And it was Barclays. And for me, that's mad because, like you said, there are so many accelerators now that are for diverse founders. So we've been running since 2020. We've supported over 165 businesses on it. We've now got 2 accelerators for Black founders. So we recognise early stage businesses, they need that support. But actually, once you're scaling, it's a whole different It's a whole different kettle of fish. So we've got 2 programs now, Black Founders Accelerator and Black Venture Growth. The participants from the Black Founders Accelerators raised over 3 mil worth of funding since joining. The growth program's over 6 mil. So you can see that investment going into the communities. But I think for me, what's the proudest thing from some of the stories that I've heard founders from BFA, it's they've started this business in their corporate job, right? Now they're able to pay themselves. They've left their corporate job. They've got a team. I've had people that have actually exited their businesses.
So what does exiting your business mean for
So
those that...
apologies. So exiting, that's a good shout. So exiting your business essentially is when you sell your business, right? So your business is scaled so much where you've been able to sell the business and leave the business as a founder, and usually you get some nice capital behind it once you do that.
And what's important about that is that the reality is in business, that should be the plan.
Yeah.
For most businesses, that like, yes, there are family businesses that will exist forever and carry on. But the reality is for most businesses, you should be hoping to build it to a point where you then sell it and then you go and do it again.
Exactly.
With all the knowledge that you've learned, but now you've actually got capital to start at the beginning all over again and go and do it again.
And that's where you find a lot of people go into investing, right? So once you've been able to sell your business and you've got the capital, you've actually accumulated a lot of knowledge that you can then pass down to the other founders. So you do see a lot of people go down the angel investing space and kind of that remit to kind of pass on what they've learned. But yeah, so there's been Forbes 30.
Yeah, I saw you. You went to, what's it called? Africa, right?
Yeah, I went to Botswana.
That's it.
I went to Botswana.
Yeah.
I'm also Forbes 30 under 30.
How did you feel about that?
Do you know what? Yeah, I had that on. There's a couple things that I have like written down that there's things that I want to achieve. Forbes 30 was always one of them.
Yeah.
And it was one of those ones where it's like, imagine if I could get on Forbes 30. That's the thought that I had is imagine if I could do it. I wouldn't say that I worked for it. Like I wouldn't say that was in my brain for 5 years. Yeah, I'm going to get on Forbes 30. But it was always on my dream board that's what I want to achieve. They don't tell you that you make it either, by the way. So they will be like, oh yeah, someone's nominated you. Can you send over some extra information? People that we can refer, like get a reference from you. And then the day the list drops
is when you find out. So the list dropped and it was because people are on it. Like people will tag you and be like, oh, Mad, you're on Forbes 30. So my LinkedIn blew up and I was getting bare tags under the Forbes 30. Sorry. And I was absolutely mind blown. And I think for me, there's a couple of things that have happened in my life which I never thought would have happened, but it provided me credibility in this space. So when I got Forbes 30, it's like everything that year blew up for me. So Forbes happened, the BTA Awards happened, the Black British Business Awards happened. I got my MBE that same year. So it was almost like it opened another bunch of visibility doors that I didn't have externally. And I think that's also a big thing as well. When you're working for a corporate, a lot of people will think about their internal brand and what that means internally. But actually, you need to have that voice externally as well in the ecosystem. So I think for me, it was pivoting my mindset to, okay, I've got a brand in Barclays, but no one knows me outside of Barclays. So how can I be the reputable person that people knows that if you're a diverse business and you want help, Natalie's the person that you go to. So that's when I started being a lot more vocal on LinkedIn. And I think that's when, Forbes happened and all the other bits happened after that. Amazing.
It's fantastic.
It's madness.
So there's so much, time is just against us, but talk to us about MBE. So people that might not know you, obviously they're here, South East London, you got a very English voice, so they might not know, but you are very black. Like,
oh, hella.
Like extra black, even to the
So
way
mad.
to the point of even how you do your hair. I remember having this conversation. You're like, my hair is like this on purpose. I want them to know that the the person that's in this
100%.
has hair that is like for the roots. Like you're very, very pro-black. You're very. How do you deal with the conflict of? Do I accept this? Do I not accept this? Do I knowing because I know you, like I know
100%.
how much you know your history, you know everything. How do you deal with the fact that okay, do I accept this? Do I not accept this? If I accept it, some people are gonna feel like I'm a traitor. And but I do everything for my community on a day to day. Like, do you understand that? How do you?
And it's evident that I'll continue to do so.
Come on.
It's tough because obviously we all know, right?
Yeah.
We all know about the legacy and the history when it comes to the royal family and things like that. And I think when the letter came through, firstly, I thought, who is scamming me that I'm getting this type of letter?
So it just comes randomly.
Bro, Like I can't even.
How do you get my address?
I can't even.
They know
you know,
you,
like
bro.
who snitched?
Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
snitched? So the letter come through, and it's like a proper formal letter. It says that
Is it heavy?
Yeah, and it's like proper cardboard. You know, like you
It's
slap
proper,
it and it's
yeah.
making noise.
It's not no normal paper, nah. It's proper.
And it says, like, it's embroidered. It's got the stamp at the back, like the official, like, stamp. And it says it's under embargo, so you can't announce anything till the list has been come out. But it's gone through the Prime Minister, and you've been selected to get an MBE, and you've got a period where you accept it or decline it, right?
Yeah.
So I got that, and firstly, when you get that type of letter from our background, I had never Natalie and MBE is never something I had even imagined to be put in the same sentence, right? So when I got it, I was first like, how did this even happen, firstly? And then, like you said, other noise starts coming in, right? About, do I really want to take this? But actually, like, I had to sit and really deep to myself. Whilst there is all of the other noise out there, there's two things that I live by, right? So the first thing is my family, right?
Yeah.
And the journey that they have taken to make me the person that I am today.
Come on.
So, you know, my nan came over in Windrush. She was working as a nurse at the time. My mum came over when she was 9. She was one of 2 black girls in her whole school. Like, the stuff that they navigated for me to be an outspoken black woman, to even be getting invitations like that, that's my priority over the other noise. The second thing is what that means to my kids and actually the people that are around me. And there are so many people, just like myself, where I thought I would never get an MBE, that saw me get an MBE, had messaged me and said, I never thought I would get an MBE, but now I'm going to put my name forward for it. And actually now I'm seeing quite a few people from our ecosystem getting MBEs, right? And being recognised for the work that they've done. And I think yes, we should never forget about the history that's happened, but if we can do something to change how that is, if we can do more things to recognise our community and put our community on the pedestal, I'll do that.
Yeah, man. I think for me, it's quite simple. All 3 of us are in positions where we serve our community.
Yeah.
Does an MBE allow you to serve your community better?
100%.
Definitely. 100%.
100%.
It goes from thousands to tens of thousands, or tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands off the back of an MBE. So
you know,
you've
you go
been
from
serving your
local
community
news to national news. It's different.
You've been doing your accelerator at Barclays. Maybe it's global next because of the MBE. Do you know what I'm trying to say? But that's what it does. So yeah, man, I think that it's kind of like.
So you're ready to collect yours, yeah?
I'll pray on it if it comes through.
MBE coming soon.
It's so funny, yeah, because when Natalie was talking about the letter, we're just talking about the letter coming through. I'm not used to this letter. It's so funny, bro. The heavy letter will be rested on this junk mail from Virgin Media. This junk mail that comes in every month, bro. But yeah, man, I think that, look, if you serve your community, whatever you can help you serve your community, even better, man.
And for me, it was like, it's the MBE isn't for me. It's how can I elevate the work that I'm doing? How can it put me in rooms that I haven't been in before? And actually, from getting in the MBE, I then went to 10 Downing Street to go talk about what government could do for black entrepreneurship. So like it facilitates another level where you can have deeper impact. So
yeah, but even for Barclays, even think about even in finance, the fact that you're MBE now, people are gonna look at you because it's not just I'm Natalie, I'm head of DEI or whatever. It's actually I've been recognised outside. And now you're looking good for the company. Do you understand?
Oh, 100%.
You now help the brand. Do you know what I mean? Because one of our staff members
has been recognised
for the work doing in our company. And that's so important for people to understand, because the majority of our listeners, no matter what they say, as much as most of you are employed. I don't know if anyone has told you, most of you are employed.
To be employed, okay?
And it's okay. And Natalie is a perfect example of someone who is employed but still gets to use their brain, still gets to expand themselves, still gets to challenge their employer, and is making an impact external, not just in finance. That you're making it external for people across the country, and then you're leading by example. And for me, it's just a case of, I feel like this is why, like I said, I'm being quiet today, is because I don't want you to talk, because I feel like when people hear you talk, they're going to realize that, actually, I can be Natalie.
Yeah.
And
100%.
That's why it's so important. 100%. You are so important, like to our community, to everything, because what you do, like the rooms that you're in, like you said, your CEO was in the room, but your day to day, the rooms that you're in at your level. Remember, Nats is gone. Bro, I don't even know what B level you are these days. Like she's gone. So every room she's in, she's probably, if not the only black person in the room. Yeah. And yet every day she's representing us in these spaces. Bro,
Natalie probably knows what I'm going to say next. The day I knew I needed to get Natalie on the podcast to speak about being an intrapreneur, was when I went to Barclays, bro. She's just loose, bro. Just walking around, no desk, no schedule. She's just free, free roam on a game. There's no mode set.
Trust me.
She's just free roam in Barclays building, walking around laptop in hand. That's real entrepreneur business, bro.
No, she's it's crazy. Nat's invited me to the event. She was like, come to this event. I come to the event. She's like, I need you to speak to, bruv. You see when Nat says, speak to somebody, after that, all of the people she introduced me to emailed me.
Yeah.
They emailed me.
It's crazy.
Because they said, Natalie said we need to speak to you. Do you understand? And so that is the power that she holds, but she does it in a way where she's not trying to gatekeep it. She's not trying to keep it to herself. No. Yeah. She's out here trying to empower people all the time. So I feel like what you do is so important, and it's so good for people to be able to see that actually I can be employed and still make a difference. Like those Black History events can make from that to where you are now is actually unbelievable, but we've all got to start somewhere. Do you know what I mean?
100%. And I think, like, if there's anything I want to do is just demystify, if I can speak. Demystify, there we go. Demystify the fact that people think that working in a corporate isn't sexy. It can be sexy, right? I can't lie to you. I've worked with entrepreneurs. I'm not jealous of your lives.
Facts.
I have a salary that comes in every month.
Facts.
I have maternity leave. I have benefits.
You got end time.
I got end time. Friday, I close.
Yeah.
I close.
You got bonuses.
I wasn't going to mention that one. But also, I can still have my entrepreneurial mindset in a corporate. So I think for me, like, entrepreneurship is sexy, yes, but working in a corporate is even more sexier, right? In my personal opinion.
And you're proving it.
I could go on holidays. I'm not stressed. I know you guys are stressed.
Facts.
This one's even going back after doing 5 days worth of work.
We're stressed, bro. People ask me, sometimes when someone says, do you work on weekends? I look at,
are you stupid? Are you crazy? What? I don't excuse me. I work 7 days.
Bro, it's really real.
As I exist, I live. I work.
It's unbelievable. You know what? I don't think people get it. Like, man does not stop. Man does not stop. Look, man's going to see Bricks for my birthday. We're still filming when we're out there.
Filming. Like, on a holiday for his birthday. And we said, we'll get.
See, this is what I mean.
4 to 6 episodes. Come on.
This is what I
mean. We didn't even blink to say, no. Bro, what got to be done?
But yeah, I think, look, I enjoy working for a corporate. Am I going to stay at Barclays forever? Possibly not, right? But at this moment in time, it's working. I'm enjoying what I'm doing. I'm making impact. And most importantly, I have balance.
But what you've done is going to last forever. That's the thing. That's the thing. It doesn't make it, no matter what, whether you're there or you're not there, you're there.
Yeah.
You've built something that's going to last. Even if we know what's happening with D&I and whatever, and it may change. What you have done, those businesses that have experienced it, like you said, you're the first accelerator. Accelerators will still continue to exist because you decided to take the bull by the horns and say, I'm going to make a difference in the space that I'm in. Sometimes you say, I'm going to make a difference when I get over there, or when I'm making this, or when I've got... No, you say, with what I've got,
on that.
With what I've got, I'm going to make a difference where I'm at. Yeah. Like you said, for a lot of us, Black History Month event is long, you're going to do it. Are people, Black people are even going to turn up? It's long. You do all this, everyone says they're going to come, then it rains, and Black people don't want to go outside when it rains. You know how we are, but you still went and did it anyway, and people turned up, and it made a difference and an impact. And I feel like these lessons, are so vital, and you do this while still being an amazing partner and an amazing mum. Like, can we talk to how do you balance both? Because apparently on the social media, you can't do both. You gotta pick one or the other. But
that's what they say.
That's what they say. But you're doing both.
Yeah, you definitely can do both. I think I feel like there was a narrative that I saw where it was like, once you have kids, you have to slow down. You can't be getting the promotions. I thought, slow down, no thanks. But I think it's learning when things are in season and when things need to pull back, right? So I'm always so heavy on I have the greatest foundation at home, right? So I've got a partner who uplifts me, that will look up, like, it's not a chore to look after, it's his child firstly.
Yeah.
Like, also all of this, people will be like, oh, he's so, it's his child, so it's his responsibility as well. But he is absolutely fantastic at allowing me the space to grow and be bold, right? But also it's about the seasons. So works will not always be 100%. Sometimes I'll give work 40%, and actually my family need that 100%. So I think it's about knowing where you are, what needs your focus, and actually what's more important to you. Like I said, I was very fortunate that Callum was absolutely fantastic and has supported me through the last 5, because I have been traveling and he has been working as well, and also like picking up the slack. So it's hard. Conversations. I think communication is the biggest thing in a relationship. If you can't
100%.
communicate, if you can't speak about things, if you can't have that conversation about what each other's comfortable at, what's each other's limits, then it's not going to work. Me and my partner have been together for 12 years. So we've been through that journey where we can communicate.
Yeah.
And if you see the smile on his face, listen, every time I see my man's grinning like they just met. Like, I don't know what Natalie does for my man, but he's a happy guy.
Bro,
I've never seen this guy sad. Full teeth. Top and bottom every time I see him.
And me and E-Man speak about men a lot, and look, I'll big him up publicly as
Yeah,
well,
big
because
him
there's
up,
a lot
straight
there's a lot
up.
of man that, and it's the worst way to be, a lot of men that are shook to be with a strong woman that
Oh, yeah.
Facts.
has
Yeah,
a good
yeah.
career and they're successful.
Yeah.
And it says a lot about them, innit? Do you get what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say? But for the fact that he knows who you are, he's there to
Yeah.
support you, grow with you, and is showing himself, big him up, man, because
No.
that's what we
Oh,
need more of.
100%.
Yeah, but also I think it goes to Natalie as well, because whenever she doesn't ever not treat him like he's the
Exactly.
man.
Yeah.
It's both,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
both
yeah.
ways,
Like
innit?
when
100%.
she'll
100%.
introduce him, she will step back, let him talk. Like, do you understand? When she's with him,
Yeah.
he's the man. Do you understand what
I
I'm
can't
saying?
lie to you. Whilst I might be the boss at work, when I'm at home, I want a baby girl life, right? So there is also that balance of he is my man and he does look after me, but I've never had someone champion me as much as he does.
And that's- yeah.
When I've gone to work events and then they've said, I've met your partner. You're Natalie Ojevah. I've met your partner. He speaks so highly. For me to have those people come to me and say, he's speaking in rooms that I'm not in, that's the type of person you need, right?
exactly.
So yeah, like we've been. It hasn't been easy. Relationships are never easy. It's
No.
up and down. But yeah, man, we're in this together. So that's the biggest thing for our kids.
Love that.
Facts. Natalie, you've dropped a lot of gems for the people. I personally love the fact that we got to speak to you at such a high level, but you spoke about your journey starting from Black History Month, and I mentioned it before. I feel like so many of our audience might have been in and around those events, and you've shown how you can take something that to some people may seem so mundane and so common,
Yeah.
and you've built it into something crazy. So hopefully you guys have learned a lot from today. Natalie, we always ask our guests, what is the W and the L, or the cream and the crust of their journey? So let us know. It doesn't have to be work-based, but it can be work-based as well, whichever.
Okay, so my W was when I found my passion and I made that my purpose. I think once I was able to find what I enjoy, what wakes me up in the morning, and make that somehow my role, whether that was side of desk and then it turned into my full role, I think that was definitely my W, because there was points where I used to cry at work sometimes in some of the jobs that I was doing, because like you said, Barclays is mad, right?
Yeah.
So there's some roles that you know you will never want to go back to.
Yeah.
And I've had some of those roles and I thought, this can't be me. So I think definitely my W is finding my passion and when that met purpose. And from that, my biggest L, that's a good one. I have L's all the time. I'll be honest. I feel like my L's. Okay, so I'm going to be very transparent here, and I haven't shared it. But, I am looking for the next step and the next kind of progression role. And, I have been applying for roles, and there's been quite a few roles that I haven't actually got. And a lot of the times I've come and thought, why is that, right? Why am I not getting the job? Why is it not happening? And it transpires actually that there's a reason why a lot of these things happen, whether that be the company's done redundancies later on, or the role isn't what I've expected. But actually, through those L's, it's now allowed me to take the time and think about, okay, what can I do for me, right? So I hit Uncle E-Man up last year, and I'm going to shout out you because there are so many people that you support. And I said this to you in the message. There's so many people that you don't realize how much help you give by just giving your time, right? Even if it's a voice note and it's, have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? So I dropped Uncle E-Man a message at a point where I was applying for jobs, wasn't happening. And I was like, I need to do something to feed my soul. And E-Man's always been one that I've always looked up to. And obviously, man's an author, pap, pap, pap. So I hit you up and I was like, look, I really want to write a book. I don't know like how to go about it. E-Man said, what do you want to write the book on? Tell me. I sent you a synopsis. And then E-Man then sent me a 5-minute voice note to say, have you thought about this? Have you gone to this, have you thought about these other tools? Like, this is cheaper ways that you can do it. This is like different stages. So, you know, through those L's, I'm writing my book, which I'm really excited for. Thank you. So I think, you know, allowing those L's when you're not getting the jobs, when you're not getting the role that you want for, think about how you can pivot it for yourself. Yeah. So I think there was a question that I had to say to myself, actually, maybe there's a reason why I'm not meant to be getting those roles. I'm meant to be focusing on something else.
I love that. But I think also you got to remember the level that you're at as well. It's different. It's like when you're in, I love football and I can only talk football, but it's like when you're in League One, League Two, when you want to progress, there's a lot more options for you. When you're already in the champ, come on.
When you're at Man United, there's not many options.
There's not many moves that you can make.
I mean, you can go Arsenal.
But you understand, you can go Arsenal, but potentially you go Arsenal, then you end up out the league. Or because certain things is in your DNA as well. Yeah. So this is another thing. You've been at Barclays a very, very long time. We see it with players that Danny Welbeck. He's playing at Brighton now. He's sick. Yeah. But you go from Man United to Arsenal, then it doesn't. Do you know what I mean? It's very, very difficult. It's a different culture.
It's just like football as well, because you've been at Man United for so long, Arsenal might not really want you. You're too United.
This is it. Yeah, and also you got to bear in mind, because I've been in this role for so long, I know what I want and I know what I don't, right? Yeah. So I'm not applying for every role that I see. Yeah. I'm applying for the roles that I know is the roles that I would want to go into. So it is a whole different kettle of fish.
And there can only be so many strikers on the team. Do you understand?
The job market is
it's hard. You got to wait for someone to move, someone to retire, for you to step in. Because some of these jobs that you're looking at now, these are jobs for life. Once you get it, it's until you walk away. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? They don't sack you from these ones. Do you know what I mean? So you understand, these are levels, like, do you know what I mean? You're in there. From there you go to board of directors. Do you understand? So so it's waiting for someone to either retire or move on to open up a space. But you'll get there, man.
Oh no, I don't doubt that. I genuinely don't doubt that. When my time will come, my time will come. I just know for me, if it's a no, it's time for me to focus on other things till I get that yes.
How can people follow you? I know that bare of them are going to want to get mentorship, but do you do anything of that nature? Yes. How can people really engage with you? Because for me, you should be everyone that's listening, whether male or female, if you can get half an hour of Natalie, it will change your life.
So I love that. So there's a couple of things. We actually didn't even delve into so much, but there's a couple of ways people can hit me up. So myself and Aisha, so I don't know if you got, I know you lot know Aisha, launched the Hustle Table a few years ago, which is a platform dedicated to leveling the playing field. We was tired of waiting for a table and a seat, so we created our own table to share knowledge and share tips. So you can follow us on the Hustle Table on Instagram, LinkedIn. Me personally, I'm on LinkedIn and Instagram, so Natalie Ojevah MBE, just put that in, I'm the first to come up. I do mentoring as well, so if you are looking for a mentor, hit me up. I do have a business in that as well, so we can talk. But really and truly, like, for me, I feed off of people, innit? So if you send me a message, I will respond. It might take me a week or two, but I will respond. Yeah. So yeah, just hit me up. Hit me up, definitely. But thank you both for having me. It's like, I can't lie to you, like, I'm big fans of you. You guys already know. Like, I'm big in your corner. What you guys are doing is absolutely phenomenal. And this is what's needed in the community. So Thank you for opening
We
up
appreciate you for coming.
conversations.
And you guys know that Natalie's a mom as well as a business boss. So thank you for your time.
No, we
for
appreciate
coming
it.
down.
Fresh, maybe just fresh 3 months.
3 months.
And she's here.
Fresh home, and she's here. We
Some of you ain't got
appreciate
kids, you ain't doing nothing. You ain't still making excuses. 3 months, she's here. Travelled.
Facts.
Public transport.
Facts.
Some of you think you're not reaching your goals, you know why.
Facts. But guys, yeah, let us know what gems you think that Natalie dropped. I think that she dropped so many gems that could help people in their space. We have a lot of entrepreneurs on here. It's great to hear from an entrepreneur. Let us know what actions you might be taking based off what you think Natalie mentioned. But guys, that's been us, Bread and Butter Podcast. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe.
Yo, and we'll see you in the next one.
Peace.
Bless.